Hello, welcome back to the Games Kingdom. My name's Carl King and today we're going to be doing a little bit of an unboxing of a new game that's just recently arrived, and that is Galactic Cruise. Now the backers for this on their Kickstarter campaign have been recently getting these. I ordered this from Dranda Games in the UK as a sort of retail copy. I didn't buy any of the expansions, didn't buy the neoprene mat or the upgraded components, so what you see here is what you get if you go onto their website and buy it as it is. But they still have in here all of the trays and sort of inserts and things, and the nice little added touches that Kickstarter backers got. So this is the first game, I believe, from Kinson Key Games. So the game has been designed by T.K. King, Colton Thompson and Dennis Northcott, with the artwork by Ian O'Toole, as you can see on the box there. So this is a game where you will be playing as potential CEOs of a company that has set up and runs Galactic Cruises. So you will be building your space shuttles, you'll be putting in different rooms into those, and you'll be then selling tickets to passengers, so they will go on Galactic Cruises and they will have days in space, they will do on-board activities. All of these activities and these days in space and selling all of the tickets will gain you victory points, and obviously at the end of the game, and that is triggered by a certain game ending condition, you will then tot up all the points, and whoever has the most points will be the new CEO of the Galactic Cruise Company. So without any further ado, let's take off the top and we'll get into it. So I left some of the silica gel capsules in here because that always helps to prevent sort of condensation getting in. So you get your Galactic Cruise workstation booklet, so that basically tells you how to unpack all of the bits and pieces that you get in your box of goodies. So you'll obviously get all your punch boards and you will punch those out, and each player gets their own rocket shaped tray with all of their colours and bits and pieces in, and it tells you how to set out that tray, where to put certain bits, where to add certain things from the punch boards. Everybody starts with the same things within reason, and then you've got other smaller trays which obviously we'll see all of this, but I just wanted to show you this is a nice little touch. All of these smaller trays show you how to pack away and store, but also more importantly use on the table, instead of just literally leaving stuff on the table as a bit of a mess. These trays actually help you out on the table because they keep everything neat and tidy. And then you've got these wonderful inserts, which again we'll see when we go through what's in the box. And also there are gaps here which you will see that are filled with a couple of pieces of foam. They're actually for the bits and pieces that you get with the expansions, which, as I said, I didn't buy, but we'll play this game hopefully within the next few weeks. There is a solo mode. It's a 1 to 4 player game, and we'll get this to the table hopefully. I will play a few games solo just to familiarise myself with the rules, and then hopefully myself and my friends will get this to the table, and then if we like it enough, what I might do is when we go to the UK Games Expo at the end of May / beginning of June, we will obviously be going there to buy various bits and pieces and see what's on offer. But Dranda themselves are actually at UK Games Expo, so what I might do is see how it plays, and if I like the game enough, which I'm hopeful that we will, I may well purchase the extra bits whilst I'm at the show if they have any of those left, and I may even do a little pre-order and pick them up there, which a lot of companies do allow you to do. So that's as a nice little touch. Sometimes you get this on the inside of the box, but these nice little things like this very handy because it also helps everybody pack the thing away. Shows you how to put everything back in the box at the end of your playing session as well. You get a nice little introductory letter. Another little nice touch is you get a lanyard and a boarding pass, so you can sort of wear this if you want to in your games. I might use this for my UK Games Expo ticket. You normally get a new one every year at the UK Games Expo, but this is quite nice, so I might keep that to one side and take that with me to the expo. So here you can see, first off on the top is we've got these sort of space rocket shaped trays, and you get all of your player component colours here. We'll just open the one. Now you start with the nose cone and obviously the rocket end of your Space Cruise shuttle, and that also, they perform a lid function for some bits and pieces actually in the tray, so you get a certain amount of money and advertising chits, as well as your individual tokens for your player board. And then these slot into here, and you can donate the starting ones by this little star in the corner, and they sit on there. You've got some workers, these are your development cogs, they go out onto the main board. You've got your cruise consultant stroke travel agent, as some people call it, and then you've got various cubes and things that go out onto the board, and the cubes that go out on the board actually determine when each one of the 3 rounds in the game finish. And then obviously they all pack away nicely on the top there, sort of alternating back to front. So we'll just remove those out of the way for the time being. So as you can see, these are some of those other trays, so you get 2 of these as well in the box. So you can have these one at each end or top and bottom of the playing area, so that both sets of 2 players can share the money and the advertising tray numbers, so that you don't have to sort of lean across too many parts of the table. So again, they're nice. These are game tray ones, I believe. You've got, these are all the passengers that you will be able to sell tickets to. So you've got adventurous passengers, you've got relaxing passengers, and you've got families. So depending on what your shuttle, when you sell it, because you buy different sections to put into the shuttle, you can have at maximum 3 different compartments in your shuttle, but there are times where you will be able to upgrade that and potentially go to 4, and obviously the more rooms that you've got, at certain points when it becomes the time at the beginning of your turn, if your shuttle is in space, you move your figure, your pilot, 1 step across on the sort of cruise that you're doing. So with this one, you've got an adventurous one, a family one, and a relaxation one. So, and then you've got a day in space. The bits at the top here is how many fuel you need to actually launch, because obviously the more you do in space, the longer you're going to be in space, the more fuel you're going to use. So you're going to have different ones of these during the game, where you will pay a different amount of resources, and for every passenger and your pilot that's on the cruise as well, you're going to need to pay a food cost, and also you'll believe you've also got water as well. So there are quite a few cards in the game, and these are agenda cards, so you pick up these agenda cards at different times by playing your workers to different actions on the board, because you've got 2 normal workers, and then you can get some expert workers as well. And the areas that you go on the board are recommended for the first game. They tell you which ones to put out and potentially where, and then after that they are randomized, and that will then obviously offer a lot more replayability in the game, because when those things come out, when you place your worker down into that particular area, you can do a certain amount of actions in the areas that your worker is touching and is also connected to by those cogs that I showed you earlier, your development cogs. You place those out on the board, and if you've got those between two different sets of 2 worker actions, you can take 2 of any of those 4. If you haven't, then you just take the 2 that your worker has gone to, and if one of your opposing players has placed a development token down, you can still use the other areas, but you have to pay everybody who has a development cog token in between those actions that you want to take. If there are 2 players, then you have to pay 2 money to each player. So you can, as I say, you can use other people's areas when you play your worker to take actions, but it may cost you money to do so. So the better thing to do is take the actions where you can also place out your own development cogs onto the board. And also when you do that, I think there's 9 in total, 3 rows of 3. When you get rid of the second row completely, so you've done 2 rows, you will also get some very good end of game scoring points, and if you manage to get all 9 of those removed, you'll get even more end of game scoring points. But you also then have the benefit during the game of being able to take those actions without having to pay money to other players, and you can basically fill up the areas on the board, and you can take all, if not most, of the actions that are available to players during the game. And these agenda cards are one of the things that you can take depending on where you place your worker. You'll be able to take these agenda cards, and you'll see in the bottom corner as well that these agenda cards can actually be played to gain and or use as a resource when you need them, including when you're launching your shuttles into space. So if you're short on food and you've got a card and you're short of that one food, you can use that card from your hand for that benefit rather than for the benefit of the text on the card. So as you'll see, some of them have got food, some of them got fuel, some of them have got air, and yeah, they're all like that all throughout. Some will give you points both at the beginning and or end of the game, depending on certain conditions that you may meet when you play those cards. There is a solo option to this game, so these are the solo action cards. I've not played a game yet, so I've literally only had the game a few days, and I've just sort of unpacked it and put it into the relevant sections. So as you can see, there are 1 or 2 little gaps here. There will be more of these little tokens here if you buy one of the specific expansions, and where these pieces of foam are, they will also be expansion boxes similar to this. So this box here has all of your what are called your sort of the areas of your shuttle where your visiting passengers will go. So when you turn that over, you'll see these areas here. So what you do is you match those 2 areas up, and if you've got a matching area like this that shows a complete person in that square, you can put 1 paying passenger into that area. So if you wanted another one and you had another one at the top here, then you would be able to do that and have 2 passengers on that particular shuttle. So as I say, normally you will only get a shuttle with 3, but there are times where you can upgrade your shuttle and get more. These are the areas and the actions for things like your expert workers, but they go out onto a specific area onto the board. Underneath here we've got the 2 rule books. Now it does look as though there's quite a bit to do in here, but there are a lot of examples in these books, so it's not all just rules. There are, as I say, there are a lot of pages here where they will give you examples of how the actions work, and also you get the solo rules in here as well, and then you get all the explanations of how some of the cards and some of the bits and pieces that you will gain during the game, how they actually will work for you and what they will give you. This is your game board. We'll have a look at that in a second. these are the player boards, so these are very nice. These are all dual layered, so you put all of your tokens and bits and pieces in here. Your workers come in here, and then when your workers are all out on the board and you haven't got anybody to play on the board, you call a meeting, your workers come back and they go into these spaces, and you get certain bonuses depending on what you've uncovered and discovered during the game. So that will give you more bonuses and also more resources to use on your future turns. This is another one of the smaller boards. This goes next to the main player board, and this is where all the cruises get advertised. So those small tokens that I showed you earlier with the fuel things, they all go in here, and you can then sell these passengers. So there's up to 2 passengers per shuttle, and on here this is where you store your cruise stroke travel agent, and then they go and they bag one of these cruises, and then you can sell the tickets. You can actually sell tickets to a cruise without actually having a travel agent stroke cruise agent assigned to it, because when you do that you will get the benefits for selling those tickets, including money, because you're selling tickets just like you would do on a normal cruise. Each player also gets one of these employee handbooks, so again that's a nice little touch. It gives you explanations of all the little bits and pieces in the game and the areas on the game board, and what if you go there, what that benefit is for you. And then we've got the other tray here where we've got the other tokens and bits and pieces, and these are the bits that go out onto the board where the actions will be played. So if you take this particular action, this is where you will then put one of those development cogs onto the main board, and that allows you then to sort of piggyback into the next section when you're playing your worker to be able to access more potential actions. So you could take an action from one area and the second action from a different area if you have this cog in between. So what we'll do, we'll give you a quick overview of the board. Now the board is quite big, so we'll put this out like this just to give you an idea. So those things will go into here, and we'll turn this round actually. So those tokens go into these areas here, and then if you play the cog here and you place your worker here, you can take either one of these actions twice, or one of each of those actions once, or if you place your worker here or here and you've got a token here, you can take any 2 from any of those 4. And again, the more of those connections you make, the more chances you can have to piggyback onto there and sort of do more actions. But obviously if you've got a action cog here, you can't place your worker here and use this action because you don't have a cog here, so it only literally connects into the next section. And you can also play them onto here. This is where special actions go, and these will change each game as well as these ones being drawn out randomly. But as I say, for your first game they will give you a recommendation of which ones should be used, but at the outset of any other game you can do random if you wish. This is where the expert worker thing will go, so you could potentially place your expert worker once you've released that and being able to use it in the game. You can place that on here. This is the section of the board over here where you will get your compartments from for people to go on to the cruise and what they're going to be able to do. And then here is where you take the actual sections of the rocket when you want to do a new one. So you can have, again, you can potentially have 3 of these. I think there might also be a particular rules where you can maybe get a 4th one of these, but most of the time players can't have more than 3 of these at any one point. But taking these will also give you benefits immediately for the bottom section, and then you flip that over. But any of these that haven't made it into space at the end of the game, they will cost you 5 points. So just taking these to get the value is great, but if you then don't at least launch it once, you will lose 5 points for every one of those that don't launch at the end of the game, because each of these cones, as soon as they go into space, they flip over, and then you will get points for them because they have launched into space at least once at the end of the game as well. So there you have it. That's the board. So as I say, it's quite a table hog for the board itself, and you've got that other board that I showed you earlier that goes down the side of it. That's where all the passengers come in, and each time you take passengers and put them onto ships and put them and sell tickets, other passengers will sort of slide down and new passengers will come in based on what you've sold and is currently being used. So the game has got quite a lot of it stuff in it. All of the components really are top-notch quality. You know, you've got some nice wooden components in this. The cardboard tokens are adequate and fine, but you can buy upgraded acrylic ones. So again, I'm going to see how many times we're going to get this to the table and whether that's going to be worth upgrading those, but they certainly do look nice and probably will last longer. But if you're only playing this maybe once a month or once every few months, then it might not be worth it. But we'll see how we get on with that, and also how we get on with things like playing and wanting to use the expansions, because all that adds in, I think on some of them, is more things that you can buy for your ships, so extra cabins and that sort of thing, more agenda cards and bits and pieces. So you're just expanding the sort of replayability really. I don't think it adds too much in the way of extra things to do. It just gives you more things that you've already got in the game. So it's going to take you a while to use up all of those components anyway, and also because they're all randomized every time before they come out, then you're not going to get the same ones come out all of the same time in all of the same order. So I think this is going to go down really well with the guys that I play with regularly, yeah, I think this is going to be another winner, and certainly I'm looking forward to getting this to the table on a solo basis. So for me, just for how it is, how it has been made, what's been done with it, then as I say, for me, Galactic Cruise gets the Games Kingdom Royal Seal of Approval. So if you like this sort of game where you're placing down workers, taking actions, and those actions can lead on to different things and different actions further in the game, then this may well be a game for you. But yeah, I think this is gonna go down well with ourselves. So again, if you've liked what you've seen in this video and you want to see more of these sort of unboxings and review videos that I've done, please head over to my YouTube channel on this particular address here at the Games Kingdom 811. So if you would please click like on the video, and if you could do, it would be great for you to subscribe. You'll get notification of when I do more of these videos. And also at the minute I'm running a giveaway when I get to 250 subscribers, which I think we're only a few off currently. I'm going to do another random draw for a game out of my collection. Contact that particular person and then send them a free game. So that might be you. This might be your first video. You like, you subscribe, and you get a free game out of it. So until we do another one of these, it's bye for now.